What's up, Wayne Barron here with DarkEffects.net, and we're inside of Adobe Edge Animate, and what we're going to be doing is this. As you can see, we've got something that resembles an image gallery. However, the one cool thing about this gallery is that whenever you run the cursor over the our runner line here, you get these markers. And each one of these markers represents one of the cars that you saw above. So if you click on 6, you will get this 77 Trans Am right here. You also notice our marker, or our runner, jumps back to the number 6 position. So if you come over here to the number 5, it will jump back to the number 5 position. Now this is supposed to be the 2013 Trans Am. However, there's rumors that it's not really a Trans Am, so I'm not really sure what it is. But anyway, it still looks cool either way. So you come down here to number 3, click on it, and it jumps back down to our number 77 Trans Am. And then if you come all the way here to the beginning, you have our 0 marker, click on it, and it actually starts the animation all over again. So that's what we're going to be creating today, so let's go ahead and jump into it. Go ahead and create a new composition, and this can be done in about any version of Adobe Edge Animate from 1.0 and above. And so the CC version, you can also create it in that, which is what I used for the original demo that you just got finished viewing, and also the one that I uploaded the other day. So the first thing that we want to do here is that we want to create our holder. And what our holder is our holder is nothing more than just a rectangle created going across our line right here. And I want to set it to about 8. Okay, and let's change that to 550. Okay, so now this right here is our runner. So double click and name, this is our holder. Name it holder. Okay, and now what we want to do is that we want to duplicate this. And we're going to name this one runner. And we're going to change our runner, or actually our holder is going to be changed to more of a darker color. 35, 34, 34, 1 would be fine. Our runner, however, is 192, 192, 192, and 1. And so what we're going to do to begin with is that we're going to do some animating. We're going to animate our runner. So double click here. We're going to drag it all the way out to 8. Okay. So that is our 8. Double click. Run it all the way back to the beginning, and then make sure that this is broke. You do not want it to be linked, you want it to be broke, and we're going to choose 0. Okay, also let's change this. Let's click right there, make sure that both of them are unchecked, and change this to 8. And our holder, change that to 8 as well. Okay, so now this is basically what it will look like whenever it runs. Okay, so let's go ahead and create some labels. We want to come over here to our number 1 position, create our first label. We're going to do this as 1. Go to our second label. We're going to do this as 2. Third label, we're going to do it as 3. Fourth label is going to be 4. And then fifth one, we're going to go all the way up to 8. So this is going to be 5. Excuse me. This is our 6. And then 7. And then let's come over here to our very last one, which is 8. Okay, and now we're going to drop over to here, click right here, and choose stop. Okay, now we're going to come over, we're going to create some more labels. We're going to do our first label as L1, L2, L3, L4, L5, L6, L7. And then our very last one will be L8. Excuse me. Okay. Come back over here to our start. So we got our holder and our runner. Let's go ahead and lock our holder because we're not going to mess with our holder. And our runner is already set where we want our runner to be at. So let's go ahead and lock our runner as well. So let's come over here to our 1 position. And the first thing we want to do here is we want to create some markers. So we're going to create a marker right here. Okay, our marker is going to be set at a 2 and an 8. And then we're going to have our marker as red. And this will also make it so that we can actually see our marker. So now we got our marker right here. So what we want to do is that we want to make our marker, or name our marker 1. So that's going to be our 1 marker. So let's go ahead and duplicate this one. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's go ahead and do 9. And let's go ahead and change this one to start. Change that to starter. And let's go ahead and move it. Try it again. Move it to the beginning right here. Okay. Let's move it just a little bit more. Alright, that is our starter marker. Let's come over here and go ahead and move it down to there. And then that way it is, oops. Try that again. Move it down to here. That way our starter is first. Now this one right here is our 2. Let's just go ahead and name all these. This is 4, 5, 6, 7, and this one is 8. Okay, so now let's go over here to our 2, and let's bring it out to here, and daggone if I didn't do it again. Bring it to right there. Take our 3, choose 3, bring it to right here. Do the same thing with 4. Let's go ahead and bring this down a little bit more. Choose 4. We're really going to have to stop doing that. Bring it out to here. 5, choose 5. So we're going to get 6. Number 7. And then number 8. EIGHT. Okay, now that we've got all of our markers in place, so now what we want to do is that we want to create our markers. So let's come over here, let's come over and let's go ahead and create our first one. What daggone it? Doesn't want to quite work right. Okay, and now we're going to set this one at 15, 13, and we're going to change our color to a blue. We're going to come down here to our corner, and we're going to set our corner at 295 and 289. Okay, and now let's come over here to our clip. Let's change this to a 10. Okay, so our marker is going to look like that. Let's go ahead and drop it down. Scroll in just a little bit more. Okay, let's go ahead and drop this down just a little bit right there. Okay, that way it is level with the left hand side of our red marker. And so now let's go ahead and grab a hold of our text. And let's put 1 right here. Let's drop this down to 10. And And then let's move it over to the center, about up in there. Sounds good. Okay, so now we want to name our number here. Double click, and this is going to be our num holder. This is going to be our num text. Come over here, grab a hold of our num text, drag and drop it on top where it highlights our num holder, and let it go. Now it becomes one with that one. So now let's choose both of these items, right click, and convert to symbol. And this is going to be our num1. Okay, now we need to duplicate these. We need 8 of them to go across. Okay, now if you was to duplicate it here, then you will only be creating an instance of this symbol. Therefore, whenever you go to change the number, it will change the number of the first instance of the symbol. So we got to come over here to our symbols inside of our library, click here, and duplicate. Duplicate, duplicate, keep on duplicating. All the way down to, let's go down, let's do 8. We're going to name this one 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 0. Okay. So let's go ahead and grab a hold of our number 2, drag it over to here, put it right there, and then we want them to be the same. So 164 and 164. We always want to drop it on 164. Double click, come over here to our text tool, click, change the 2. Now, over here to our number 3. Oops, sorry. Come back over here, drag it over, drop it. As I said, you want to make sure that it's 164 on each one of them, and then do the same thing. Double click on it, come over here, choose our number, text tool, change it to 3. Come back over. Go back to the beginning, grab a hold of our 0, drag it on 164, double click, choose text tool, click, 0. Okay, so now that's got all of our numbers here. So, but this one right here is facing the opposite direction. Let's double click, num holder. We want to change these over. So 289 and 295. Click here. Now we want to come over here, choose it, and then drag it over to the beginning, and there we go. Let's go ahead and drag this one over to the beginning. Okay. So that way we've got our 8 sitting on the corner. We actually need to move our 8 over just a little bit. That looks good. Come back over. Now we got our 8 sitting on the corner, and we've got our 0 sitting on the corner. So now it runs just like so. Okay. So the next thing that we want to do here is that for each one of our numbers, choose all these all the way up to here, come over to always on, and choose off. Okay. So the next thing that we want to do here, our runner bar hits each one of our markers. We want to display something. So what we're going to do is that we're going to display some text. Okay, grabbing a hold of our text tool, let's go ahead and close out of that, center it in the middle. Let's minimize this a little bit. top, and let's go ahead and place our text here, and this is going to be our text 1. Let's go ahead and make our text bigger. Okay, now we're going to center this. That's good enough right there. So, for our first text here, we want to make sure that it shows up right here. So this is going, let's do, oops, double click, underscore 1. And then we're going to, from right here, with our text, we're going to come create a keyframe there, drag it out, create a keyframe there, keyframe, and then keyframe. Okay, so what that's going to do is that it's going to run it. It's going to run it down. So let's go ahead and drag this over just a little bit. Okay, so. Alright, now. That's really annoying how that does that. But anyway, you want to make sure that it keyframes in and then out. And then you want to do that all the way along the line. Now we come over here to the end. Then we've got our L1 over here. So what we want to do here is that we also want to create a keyframe here. Run it right there. And then set the opacity to 100. Create a keyframe. Come over here. Set it. Let's just go right there. I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and do a stop. Okay, so what it's going to do is that it's going to come on and then it's going to stop. Okay, so now let's go to our number 2 spot, which is right here. And then we want to do a label. So let's duplicate that label. And this is going to be number 2. And then we're just going to drag these over to here, and then text, click, change this one to 2, and you get it. Just continue on down the line and create one for each one of these, and then let's go ahead and drag this over to here. Copy and paste that over to there. That way it will run it and then it will stop it. Okay, and then let's come over here, duplicate number 3 or number 2. Let's make this into number 3. And then we're going to drag this over to here. Going to click and paste it right there. Come over, drag these to number 3. And now duplicate number 4, and then we want to move this over to here, there, copy paste, come over here, drag this over to number 4, duplicate, and this is 8. Drag it over, select, copy paste. Come over here and drag it over to there. Just go ahead and drag this to here and drop it to there. That way it stops right before the 1 starts right there. And then each one of these we need to rename. Let's come to number 3. Change that to 3. Come to number 4. basically like so. Let's go ahead and select number 7. Drag it out. So now it's like this. Okay, so number 3. Okay, this is slightly a long, very long composition, so let's go ahead and save our work. And this is from an old one, so let's go ahead and we're gonna let's try that again. Delete, delete, delete. Okay, choose that, and we're going to save. So, okay, and that's basically how that all works there. So now you can make your animation smoother. You just got to go in and play around with it. We'll try to wrap this up as quickly as possible so it doesn't take that long to run out this lesson. We've already been on this for 27 minutes. And so what we're going to be doing now is that we're going to come down to our runner, and we're going to do this to both the runner and the holder. So let's go ahead and do it to our holder first. We want to do a mouse over event, and we want what we want to do is that we want to show and hide each one of our numbers. So our num1 to num0. So what we're going to do first is that we're going to, our mouse over is going to show. Go ahead and get rid of that. And this is going to be num1. So let's copy 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 0. So let's go and do 0, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Copy this, and then let's do mouse out, paste, and let's do hide. So let's change each one of these to hide. Copy it. This is our mouse out. Scroll down, click here, and mouse out, paste. And now click here, mouse over, copy, and then choose mouse over, paste. So whenever it is run, besides doing that, whenever we run our mouse over either one of them, either the runner, which is our silver looking, or our holder, which is our grayish looking, we get our numbers right here. Okay, so now let's come over here, and the first thing that we want to do is that, okay, what we're going to be doing now is that we're going to set our numbers here inside of our runner. And if we look at it here, we can take our cursor and we can select each one of our numbers here, to where here, whenever we try to select our numbers, it goes away. And so what we got to do in order for our numbers not to go away whenever we move our mouse, we have to set them to make them the child of our parent runner. And so what we're going to be doing here is that we're going to, let's go ahead and cut them on. And we want to make sure that whenever we got them on here, that the display is not shown, as in it's not keyframed. If it keyframes itself, then this can cause a problem. So let's go ahead and make sure that they're not keyframed. Down to our last one. Now, let's grab a hold of all of these selected, drag and drop them onto our runner. And once they are dragged onto our runner, they are now a child of our runner, so that whenever we run it, well, actually we need to, but yeah, that's how it works right there. See, as you run the cursor over it, you can now select each one of these numbers, and they will not go away whenever our mouse comes off like they do here. And so that's what we needed to do. We need them to be able to stay whenever our mouse runs over. Okay, so now let's go ahead and, with all of them selected, let's make sure they are off. And let's click there, drag it all the way to the beginning, and now set it to off. Okay, so now everything is off. Let's run it one more time to make sure everything works right and everything works perfectly. And so that's basically the way we want it to run. And so now, got that working. So now what we've got to do here is that we've got to set it so that whenever we click on each one of our numbers here, okay. Now we got to make it so that whenever we click on each one of our numbers, it will show inside, or it will display our text or our image or whatever you want to place up here, and it will also draw it back. Okay, so the first thing we want to do here, okay, we want to select our on click, and then we want to play from our L1. So that's going to be L1 here. We're going to come up to this area. We're going to show our, we're going to show our 1. I believe that's the way we got it written out. Nope, let's change that to the number 1. Okay, now what we got to do here is that we have to hide. So let's come down here, and we want to hide everything that is not our number that we're going to be choosing. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So let's go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so what we're going to do is that we're going to show our text, which is 1, and then we are going to jump over to here, and we're going to display the text for that given time. So now, whenever it comes over to here, it is going to run our text until it ends right there. Okay, so now whenever we run it, come over to 1, and we click on it, and as you can see, it shows our number 1 text. Okay, so now with number 1 text, we also got to draw it back. And so how we draw it back is that we kind of come over here to our L1, and then we are going to create an element here, and we're going to play from our 1. Then we're going to come down here, we're going to do sim money, and we're going to do runner dot CSS, and then right here we are going to do our width, width, Oops, let's bring that back. WIDTH colon, and we need to go back to where it's at. So it's going to be right there. So let's bring you up, come down here to our runner, just right here, and we are at 69, so we need to type in 69 here. So then close that one out and then run it. Let it come over here to 3, come over and click, and now it jumps to our text, and then it drags our runner back to its current position of 69. So then what we got to do is that we got to do that for each and every one of these. This is the time consuming part. So okay, so now let's go ahead and run it over here. And first, let's go to 2, and our runner is going to be at 138 for our width. Let's go ahead and go right here. Let's double click on that one. Or we can actually just click on it, we paste, and then change this one to $138. Change that to 2. And then our next one is going to be at 206. So you can actually just write these down. So open up Notepad and then change that to 206. Next one, and change this one to 275, 344, 413, 481, and then our very last one here is 550, of course. So now let's come over to 2. Oops. Let's go ahead and copy and paste that over there. And then we want 206. Change that to 3. And then just copy and paste them all. So it's 275 is going to be our next one. $550. Okay, now we got to come down to here, and we've got to do all of these. So let's go ahead and choose this one, copy it out, on click, change it to 2, 2, and then we're going to change this one to 1. Okay, copy it, do this one, on click, paste, 3, 3, and then change this one to 2. Copy. 4, 4, and change this one to 3. Wait. 5, 5, change this one to 4. Copy. Quick. 6, 6, change this to 5. Copy. 7, oops, 6. Copy. Number 8, click, paste, 7, 8, and 8. So, if everything goes right, this should wrap it up. And let it run. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Run a cursor over here to 2, text 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 1, 0. Okay, our 0 does not work. So now let's jump over here and let's choose 0. Now 0 is going to be slightly different than what we were doing just a second ago. Okay, what we got to do here is that we got to come over here and create a label right here at the very beginning. So go ahead and create our label. We're going to name it Play It. Alright, let's go ahead and get up our actions. And then what we want to do here now is that we want to play from our runner. And now what we want to do is that we want to show each one of our elements. So let's go ahead and choose show. Let's get rid of that. And then let's change this to num, whoops, sorry, _1. So let's do this. And we want to do it for all 8 of them. So then we got 1. Let's do 2. Change that. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. So now what's going to happen here is that whenever we click on the 0 marker right here, it is going to play our runner. Okay, we got to have our runner to run. Now, if we do not have these in, then it will not display the text. It will display whichever text that we have our cursor at. Our indicator at. So we have to have in each one of these in order for it to show each one of our individual text. Let's go ahead and save it. Let's go ahead and click on here. And let's do click. And we want to do play from or play it. Capital I. Save it. Now run it. Let's go ahead and choose 4. And now I come over here and hit 0. And there you go. 5, 6, 7, and 8. This has been a very long one. So that is how you run it. It goes from not working like it's supposed to work here to working like a dream here. And then this is what you can do with it whenever you really start messing around with this great effect that can really make your site stand out. So anyway, go ahead and create your image gallery using Adobe's new Edge Animate. You can use any version of Edge Animate, I believe from 1.0 above. Sharon, that's the only ones that I've used, all the way up to CC. And so, alright, Wayne Barron here with DarkEffects.net, and I hope this wasn't too complicated. I'm going to go in and edit this thing down and make it, hopefully, so that it's less than the, how long is this thing? Almost an hour. So we're going to break this thing down to less than an hour. Alright, y'all have a rocking week. Have a awesome 4th of July. Whichever country that you're in, if y'all celebrate something that's coming up, may y'all celebrate it safely and have fun and enjoy life. Alright, y'all take care. Wayne Barron here with DarkEffects.net. Bye-bye.